Welcome to the Horror Hotel. So I sat down last Saturday and decided to have a movie marathon, which I haven't had in a while. Ignore my fucking cat. I have tried. And I decided to see more low-profile movies on Swedish Netflix and see what kind of movies I would get. So I watched about 7 movies during the day, and I also watched Castle Rock up to the last episode released because I was a bit behind on that one. And so I decided to, review at least 2 of the movies that I saw on Saturday. I will probably review the other ones as well, but I thought these were the best ones I saw, I think. So the movies I will review today is El Bar and The Vault. So let's get going with it, I guess. So I started watching El Bar, and it was not hard to understand what kind of movie this was gonna be. However, I was still a bit surprised over how entertaining it actually was. It was about a group of characters in their morning rush that stops by a cafe or a bar for their breakfast pickups as per usual, and when one of them leaves, he gets shot in his head and dies on the streets. The group soon realizes that the streets are completely empty and that something is really wrong, and decides to stay within the cafe in order to figure things out. There is a lot with this movie that I really like. The format is simple and kinda down to earth in a way, and it has some really tense moments and a slight mystery feel to it throughout. But it also has this strange, outright absurd comedy to it, which fits really great. Some scenes are just hilarious, and while the humor is dark, I think most people, even into maybe lighter horror movies than I, would find the scenes enjoyable. It's a simple, fun, and in some moments a brutal movie, but for the one of you that is kind of getting sick from watching gore or whatever, I can tell you that is an absolute minimal. It's mostly blood. I would give this movie 6 out of 10 because it does what it set out to do, and you're never really bored by it or confused about what's happening in the movie, so it's a pretty solid Friday night flick. So the other film I watched was The Vault, and I realized that I've seen it before, so I thought it was a good reason for being the second movie to review today. As you can see, the theme of the movies today is that they are not strictly classic horror or slashers or anything like that, but a little bit lighter on the theme, although still touching all the trademarks for horror films. And The Vault is no different in that regard, so let's talk about that one. The Vault set itself up to be a pretty standard heist movie, but since it is featured on this channel, you already know it isn't. It is about 2 estranged sisters that are forced to work together and rob a bank in order to save their brother. One of the sisters is acting customer in the bank to begin with, and the other sister is appearing to be applying for a job in order to set the whole thing in motion. And at the beginning, it seems like they would succeed without any real complications, as they stall the police pretty effectively. But this is not, of course, an ordinary bank, and it has a pretty dark secret which still lingers within its walls, and the heist seems to take some drastic twists and turns into a darker place rather quickly. This movie for me is like El Bar, a pretty solid Friday night chill flick. While it got horror that we all crave and love, it also feels rather down to earth and also brings a neat little mystery theme with it that we can't really wait to get the answer to. Unlike El Bar though, this movie doesn't have any real comedic scenes in it, but is throughout serious in its tone, and the mental state of the robbers start to decline as basically everything goes to hell. It reminds me a lot of the typical heist movie, the way it is shot, and I think it really adds to the movie here, as it makes the horror aspects of it a little bit more creeping under the surface, yet you feel it. All the characters are interesting enough to keep you interested in their own ways as well, so I definitely recommend that you watch this one. It's neat, tidy, and brings suspense when needed, and I give this movie a 6 out of 10 as well. So thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will enjoy the movies as much as I did. If you want to follow me, subscribe here or follow me on Twitter or on Instagram or whatever. My name is the same everywhere. You can follow me on Curious Cat, and you can support my Patreon if you want to do that. No requirement for that, by the way. But I will see you guys next time.